Coming off a good win on Saturday, and definitely a much-needed win for our program after we had hit a definite rough patch. I thought Aaliyah Dunham was superb on Saturday. She played against a really good player in our league who's well thought of and for good reason. And Aaliyah had a great game. She's really consistently knocking down shots for us now, which is what I thought she would do at some point in the year. And I think she's much more offensively aggressive, like I thought she could be. I just think it's taken her a little bit to develop. I thought Lorelei, who you're about to talk to, thought she was really, really good late in the game. Ended up with 12 rebounds, scored the ball a little bit, which we need. I think she scored 7, and that was a huge boost. So it was good to win on Saturday. Looking forward, it's a very difficult week. You saw the quality of teams that were playing this week when they were here at home. Old Dominion first, and then Charlotte second. And if you look at our league standings, there is there's kind of 4 teams that have clearly separated, and our last 5 games are against those 4 teams. So there's nobody with the more difficult road in front of them than our group. So I think that made Saturday's game that much more important to get back right. And now I think the challenge for us is we've got to go figure out how to compete better against that group. And we maybe were in a couple of them. We haven't seen Western yet, but they're obviously really good. We were close at Charlotte, but that doesn't count. It doesn't help. And so, I think over the next 3 weeks, that's the challenge for this group is they've got to figure out how to compete better against them. We've got to find some more wins somewhere. And when you look at it, you don't see one. So they got to go manufacture one against really good teams. 1 or 2 or 3 or more, not just one. We need more than one.
Coach, when you look at – go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, Coach, when you look at a team the second time around, what are you looking at? You've seen them. You see how your team reacted. What are you looking for the second time around to try to figure them out a little bit better, or how does that process work for you?
Yeah, I think that we really focused on what happened the last time we played them, so our game, and I think these 2 teams. It wasn't that long ago. Heck, it might have been a week ago. Is that right? There's only 1 week in between, I think. So it kind of just happened. So I think our game is most relevant, and then you just kind of check off the box that they're doing the same stuff that you thought they were doing in between. But, both these teams did a nice job on us defensively. So we've got to be better on the offensive end. So, I think looking at that and trying to figure out how to make it easier on our players to get shots that they like. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing. We've got to make sure we do a good job of guarding them. They're both good offensive teams as well. So, some of the stuff you keep, some of the stuff you throw out, and you start again. So we've really looked at, the past game against them and trying to make some adjustments off of that.
What did Old Dominion do the last time that really seemed to hinder you all offensively?
I think generally they're a good defensive team. So we're not the only team that they have done that to. So they've got really good length. They're very athletic, and they do that from multiple spots. So, I think a general statement is they're a good defensive team. So did they do anything earth-shattering that they don't do against other people? Not really. I think we've got to learn better where the shots came from, what they looked like, and then we obviously got to make more. I think we were 17-62, and we got more decent looks than what those numbers look like. So we've got to convert at a higher rate if we're going to have success against them, and so I think that's part of it. In the game, we fouled them a lot. That was a big difference, was free throw shooting. So we got to make sure that we clean that up. I think it was a 15-point game at the end of it all, and they had shot a significant amount of free throws, more than us. So we got to make sure we do a little bit better in that department. Second chance points was kind of a thing. We gave up too many offensive rebounds to them. They're a challenging team to box out, but we got to get them off the glass. And then we got to play better offense. I think generally are some things that are out there that we got to get fixed.
Is that sort of the theme of this week then? Is continuing your solid defense without fouling? Because it seemed like that Charlotte loss, that's how they got back in the game as well.
Yeah, I mean they just made a bunch of free throws at the end. I mean you're exactly right. So that has been a more difficult learning process than I want it to be, but we need to grow in that area. We committed too many fouls. Late in the Charlotte game, or I guess early in the fourth quarter, that put them at the line late. So we wasted some like on hanging on rebounders and different things like that you needed late when they're challenging you at the rim, and so, or, facing up and you're trying to play without your hands and things like that where it's hard. So we've got to grow in that respect, no question. We don't want to give them free points at the free throw line, and I think if you look at both these games, there was a disadvantage for us at the line, just in total number of attempts. So that we need to try to make that a little bit closer to even.
Also in that Charlotte game, it was kind of a slow start for both of you guys, really low-scoring game, and now you only have one day to kind of prepare to face that team again. So what are some of the conversations, with the girls? How are you guys going to be able to prepare for that? And are you going to try to come out and, get it going early to get ahead?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have one day of prep like we did last time. And, so that's not really, you don't really work ahead until the first one's done. So we'll have Friday to get ready for Charlotte. And I think both teams will be, itching to play better offense. We won't be the only one walking in that game going, it needs to go better for us, So I think, that'll be an interesting, how much do the two teams change and stuff going into it? How many things can we find that maybe we didn't see the first time around that we see the second time? I think that'll be interesting. But we'll have to do that all on Friday. And, I know all week we need to play cleaner offense all week. So.
And Coach Alexis Johnson, we talked about her a little bit on Sunday, but she's really grown. She had a big game on Sunday. Just how have you seen her kind of grow in the past couple weeks, and especially as the schedule is getting harder for you guys, how have you seen her kind of step up?
Yeah, I think she's picked it up, and it really started on the road at Rice. She played really good in the fourth quarter on the road at Rice. Daily, she's been more consistent in practice, and she's a tremendous athlete. She always has been. She's more skilled than what she shot it at this year. If you watch her second made three the other day, that had rhythm, that had some skill behind it that is more like what we're used to seeing in practice, I think. I think in a game, there's a level of, she's like them all. They really want to do well. She's trying a little bit too hard to a certain degree. You got to relax and let your skills come through. But I thought the rhythm that you saw her shoot that second one with, I mean, you could tell that she can make shots. But I've seen a lot more consistent effort in practice, and she's grown a lot on the defensive end, and she is playing well. She's given us a little bit of a spark, and that's been fairly consistent throughout these last number of games. I remember her at Rice. She was great in the fourth quarter at Rice, and that's really progressed, and she's kind of hung in there and done a lot of good things since then too.
Coach, let me ask you about Aaliyah Dunham. She had a phenomenal game on Sunday, gets 16, ties with Wheeler. What growth have you seen from her in this past couple weeks? It seems like as we got later into the season, her shooting's become a lot better.
I think she's just getting used to being offensively aggressive. I think she was in a different role for 4 years at a different school, and she was successful in the role that she was asked to do. Here, I've always thought you need to score for us, but that's, that sounds really easy when you're old and there's no pressure and things like that. It sounds really easy to be able to just, you just go in and shoot, right? But that's more difficult to transition than what people think is, to be kind of ingrained that this is my job, this is my job, this is my job, and then you know, really what we're trying to get her to do is if you miss your first 2 shots, you're still supposed to shoot the 3rd, 4th, 5th one. And I think in the past, that's the flip, right? Is in the past it was kind of like, I'm going to shoot 2, and if they go in, then I'm going to be aggressive that game. And here I want her to be different. Those are good shots for us, regardless of what happened on your first 4 shots. You know, the ball has moved. You're a quality shooter. I don't care about those other ones. And I think that's kind of been the flip that took her a little bit to move past, but I think she's there. She was great at FIU when we needed her to be, made a bunch of shots down there. And then, you know, I think that she's a pretty highly motivated player, just person in general. I think she knew that Gallegos was well thought of in our league. I think she enjoyed that challenge, right? So I want to go after this player, me versus her a little bit, and I think she enjoyed that. And that's what competition is. That's what this is supposed to be. Is, you know, when we watched Jordan this summer, I mean, that's all he did was try to find some reason to be motivated against that other team, you know, and some of the stuff he made up. You know, she didn't make any of it up. Gallegos was really good, but I think she